Have you ever stopped to think about the wonders of our planet, Earth? We often marvel at other worlds in our solar system, but what if Earth had rings just like Saturn? Would it be the cosmically Instagrammable makeover that we imagine? Or would it throw life as we know it into chaos? Let's dive into the mesmerizing what-if question of the day. What if our blue planet was crowned with dazzling rings circling its equator? Get ready. By the end of this video, you'll never see Earth the same way again. Okay, let's start at the beginning. Saturn's rings might look solid and uniform when seen from afar, but they're actually made up of countless particles, bits of icy rock and dust rarely larger than a car, ranging down to the tiniest specks. Now, imagine our Earth sporting a similar spectacle. These rings wouldn't just passively sit in the sky. No, they would lead to extraordinary changes in climate, astronomy, and, yes, even the way we live our daily lives. To visualize Earth's rings, let's set the stage. They would sit in line with the planet's equator, spanning thousands of kilometers wide but remaining razor-thin when viewed on edge. They wouldn't just appear as dusty arcs during the day. At night, they would illuminate the sky with a silver-white brilliance that would make the northern lights look like a mere candle in the wind. City lights? Say goodbye. The glow from Earth's rings would make the nighttime far brighter, especially in areas near the equator. But hold up. Before you start thinking pastel sunsets and midnight picnics with celestial backdrops, we have to talk physics. These rings wouldn't come out of nowhere. For Earth to wear rings, there had to have been a dramatic cosmic event. Perhaps millions of years ago, a rogue asteroid collided with our moon, shattering both the asteroid and chunks of lunar surface into pieces that orbited Earth instead. Over time, gravity worked its magic, sculpting these pieces into Saturn-style rings. Or maybe a passing comet disintegrated in orbit, donating its icy material to this dazzling new phenomenon. However, the story doesn't end here. Earth's rings wouldn't just sit dormant. They'd interact with our planet in remarkable and sometimes troubling ways. One huge consequence? Climate. Our planet's rings would act like massive mirrors, bouncing sunlight back into space. This would cool certain regions, while others, shielded by the ring's shadows, could descend into icy conditions. Remember how we learned about the Ice Age? Earth's rings could cause recurring cold periods in ways scientists haven't yet modeled. In other words, the rings might look spectacular, but could render life on Earth vastly more challenging. In fact, ecosystems around the equator might feel these effects even more acutely. Let that sink in. Now picture this. Not all places on the planet would see the rings in the same way. If you lived near the equator, the rings would arc overhead almost vertically, an eternal shimmering band slicing through the sky. Head closer to the poles, and you'd only see hints of this splendor, like ethereal crescents edging towards the horizon. For those lucky enough to live along the equator, life might come with an unending wow factor, but also some trade-offs. The brightness of the rings at night would obliterate the dark, starry skies forever. Stargazers, astronomers, and lovers of meteor showers? Sorry, but you'd have to find a new hobby. The splendor of constellations, gone. Yet the sight of the rings themselves? Absolutely hypnotic. Fun twist. What about how civilizations see and interact with these rings? Throughout history, humans have used the stars and the heavens for navigation and for storytelling. Entire myths revolve around constellations. If Earth had these astronomical rings since the dawn of civilization, imagine how they would have shaped our cultural development. Would ancient societies have considered the rings divine? Would they think they were the work of the gods? Would explorers have mapped oceans differently if the rings were used as heavenly markers? The possibilities are endless and mind-bending. Let's take the science fiction up a notch. Suppose human technology advanced in ways where future civilizations wanted to manipulate the rings. Could they harvest the ice and rocky debris as fuel for spacecraft? Could they use it as a source of resources? Or would governments be forced to clean the rings, worried about debris interfering with satellites and space travel over time? Our current dependence on satellites might mean that in a world where Earth had rings, launching anything into or above orbit would become infinitely more complex and expensive. Now here's where it gets even more surreal. Seasons would change dramatically. The shadow cast by the rings would mean some parts of the Earth would undergo far more extreme seasonal variations than we currently see. Imagine living in a region where spring never fully arrives because the ring's shadow blocks key sunlight. Farmers would need entirely new methods to grow crops. Industries would boom or collapse depending on where sunlight fell, and migratory animal species could face extinction as their habitats are drastically altered. This isn't your normal seasonal calendar. It's one dictated by a cosmic disco ball wrapped around our planet. Okay, but what about tides? Ah, yes. The moon in our current reality has a significant pull on the Earth's oceans, giving us tides. With rings orbiting Earth, the added gravitational interactions could turn the tides chaotic. Coastal zones might experience higher floods, and low-lying areas could suffer greatly from unpredictable oceanic behavior. Sea levels might rise whenever ring debris entered our atmosphere, burning up like shooting stars, but adding their material to global water cycles. And yet, humans, being humans, would adapt in ingenious ways, wouldn't they? There's something captivating about the idea of ringside cities or ecodomes specifically designed to shield crops from constant planetary shadow. Entire tourism industries might be built on ring spectacles. Think about international festivals devoted to visibly watching ice particles glimmer in the sunlight. That raises an interesting question. Where would you live, assuming you had a world with rings? Near the equator to fully soak in the spectacles, or further away to enjoy the subtler crescents visible from afar? One final mind shift before we wrap up. These rings might not even last forever. If Earth had rings due to, say, a collision or shattered celestial body, the material wouldn't stay suspended indefinitely. It would eventually decay, with fragments raining down toward Earth or spreading out further into space until the rings vanish. In cosmic terms, it could be relatively brief, lasting just a few million years. So even if Earth did gain its rings, they might be as fleeting in the universe's timeline as a single beat of a drum. But wow, what a beat that would be. Earth with rings would be unlike anything we've ever seen. A world both beautiful and brutal, offering humanity an experience like no other planet could. From cooling climate impacts to dazzling night skies and overturned navigation systems, Earth's rings would change everything. What do you think the greatest joy, or the greatest danger, would be in a ringed Earth? Let us know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more What If Facts. Your curiosity keeps this series alive. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies, even if it's just wishfully thinking about what could have been. Thanks for watching. Stay mesmerizing, planet lovers.